Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to make late game and pop-up cups very easily, as well as how to make late game scrims as well, as they're basically the same thing. After that I'm going to be talking a little bit over my gameplay and kind of analyzing like I've done in other videos, as well as I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of some duo scrims in there as well for you guys to watch. However, the gameplay you will be seeing is all from the Atlantis Scrim servers. And again, I recommend joining it. They released ranked play today, the day that I'm recording, and it was insane. We had 70 player lobbies and it was a blast. As well, the top 10 players in the Atlantis Scrims will be advancing to a pro queue, so you can get into some queues with some pro players, as well as there is some pro players playing in these lobbies as well. I highly recommend you guys get into some of these games. However, enjoy the rest of the video. So essentially, planes are the answer to how to make late game pop-ups very easily. And they're so overpowered for the fact that in this clip right here, I'm sitting at max wood, max brick, and half metal. And that is nuts for how late the game it is, as I'm not spending mats rotating or spending shield rotating as well. And I just get to fly around in a circle until somebody decides, hey, it's time to shoot the planes out. And again, this is a game where people really didn't decide to shoot the planes out until very late. This circle is absolutely tiny, and most people aren't really sitting on as much mats as I am, unless they're out there killing people. And at that point, they're either losing shield or health as well. So at this point, I'm sitting on a very large stack of mats and full health and full shield. For the most part, this will make the rest of my game easy, and when I finally decide to jump out, I can easily float into the next zone, as you do have glider redeploy, so for the most part, you really have an easy rotate to next circle. Unfortunately, I didn't really do that in this game. I kind of just flew out at a not so smart time, but it does give you a lot of options when you're sitting up in the plane for that long, and it gives you a lot of resources to utilize for later in the game, as you don't have to spend any of your mats or movement or any of your heals as well. However, the only downside there really is the fact you can't get many early game or mid game eliminations in. However, I personally don't like to take those anyways, as you kind of dispose a lot of your mats and your resources and stuff. So going for those late game eliminations, you'll only get maybe 2 to 3 elims on your rotations. However, that is enough for 1 point, but don't expect to get max points from elims and such. However, one thing is they are usually all gone by mid game, so if you do want to get a plane, you're going to have to either modify where you land, or maybe land at a plane first and fly over to your dropping spot. However, they are a pretty good asset in getting into late game situations with a lot of resources. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys 2 clips from duo scrims. One will be a early game fight, and the second one will be a late game fight.
Got one.
Other one's about to die.
Other one's on me.
Fuck, I'm not by you, Evan. You're gonna have to do something.
Oh my god, I need help.
I'm coming, I'm trying. Can you just overbuild? Just overbuild. I'm here.
He's on me.
Where is he?
On me.
27?
Oh. Thank dummies.
Where you landing?
Firing right. See where I am?
Yeah, I see.
Crack that kid.
Alone up there?
Ooh.
Oh, the guy that should the
Yeah.
sniper skin down below is absolute one shot. I shot him twice
So
and 2
am
body
I.
shots.
Minigunned.
Where's this?
I'll be down in a second. I'm hitting health.
I'm just
Yeah, stay back height. Stay height.
just minigunning me out.
Yeah, you want me to drop? Oh, hit him a lot, hit him a lot, hit him a lot. He's white. Got one. Here's a porter rift down there.
Knocked one high.
Nice, nice, nice. I'll push. Got it, yeah, got it, got it, got it. Somebody just rifted. Two rifted.
So this is the clip from the same game, just a little bit later. My partner ended up dying, so I was working my way to zone. And at this point, I was getting a little bit low on mats, and I was getting deagled out from low. So I knew I was going to have to deal with these guys. However, they didn't really seem like the best players. So as you'll see here in a second, I do go for kind of a dumb play on if they were a little bit better. I probably wouldn't recommend doing this, as I 50-50 him basically. However, this does get me mats, which was very much needed. However, the zone I'm about to move to is up on a mountain, and the player is basically up on that mountain already and kind of holding height. However, one thing with these zones is if you play against the mountain, if you can, it will help you, as you can kind of connect to the mountain. So if they do shoot you out, which you can see me doing there, as he did have a deagle, so I was trying to connect to the mountain as much as possible. However, playing for height in this situation wasn't my best option, because I wasn't really sitting on a whole ton of mats. And every time I pushed up, he would just 90, so I was planning on knocking it down right here. However, one thing that kind of sucks is he did have a deagle, and all I had was wood, so I did have to spend a little bit of mats coning my roofs, as if I wouldn't, he could easily deagle right through and get a pretty easy pump shot off on me. So as you can see here, I'm just trying to low ground him and hit him for whatever I can. However, I run out of mats, so at this point, I'm going for some 50-50s. And I could have hit some of those shots when I was on the low ground, and I could have probably easily won that. However, it came down to me not hitting as big of a pump. However, it was still a pretty good fight. So this was one of the better lobbies we had today, and this one had, I believe this one was 70 lobbies. So it got pretty laggy, which means it was a pretty good lobby. However, right here, I'm kind of checking where everybody is, so when I rotate, I know I can protect myself in those directions. However, I didn't really see that guy behind me, and he cracked me pretty good. So I'm just kind of resetting and making sure he kind of keeps on moving, which he does. So I use these old builds right here because it kind of tunnels me and protects me from all directions. However, that can be a little bit risky because all those builds are other players if they were still kind of hiding out. However, I am just kind of building through to zone and resetting every couple of seconds so that I know where everybody is and making sure I'm protected as best as possible. In these rotates, it is kind of smart to think people here and there, as you might catch somebody pretty weak, and that's a free chunk of mats or health or whatever you kind of need. But at this point, I kind of just book it, as everybody else was kind of just building, and I didn't really hear many footsteps too close to me or above me, so I kind of just said screw it, and I take a little bit of time as the zone is closing to get whatever health I can back, as every little bit is helpful. However, here I do catch a nice little kill. As I said before, even taking people for little bits can always be beneficial, as that kind of gave me a little bit of mats and reset me. However, at this point, I realize the zone is up on the mountain, so I want to get a little bit of height before I get there, so that way I'm not trying to build up as the storm is on my back. So I do get to a little bit of mid-ground and get a pretty easy way up to the mountain, as those rotates are always the most difficult if people are pressuring you from above. So it's always smart to get whatever advantage you can. And as you guys can see, I'm kind of just dinking people left and right. However, I do see that there's not too many people chilling up on high ground, and like I said in yesterday's video, that is something I want to start to work on a lot more, is pushing that height. So I do go for it, as I did have somewhat a good amount of mats and the zone was starting to close down. I didn't really have a campfire or a med kit, so I can't really play for a heal off, which is what this game ended up going to. So I do get a nice little crack on the high ground player, but he was quick to react. And like I said, the game was pretty laggy, so I ended up not getting my floor down, and I had to drop down to mid. And then here I kind of get cracked from behind, and I didn't really have audio for it, so I'm not sure where he came from. I'm guessing he came from that metal structure off to the side, but it was still a really great game. However, that is going to be the end of the video there, guys. I hope you did enjoy. Again, leave me some feedback on what you thought about the video, as I'm trying to shift more towards these, and I've really been enjoying making them, so I hope you guys have been enjoying them as well. However, I do have a couple different creative maps coming in the next couple of days. They didn't really add too much with this recent update, but I got some other ideas kind of in the back of my mind, so make sure to look out for those. However, I will see you all in the next one.